what would you say are the most common design mistakes made by developers? In a nice way. They're not actively trying to screw things up, but it's just common errors they make.
Sure. Um, Proportions. Um, like font sizes. I've seen a lot of apps by developers where the font size is like this much. And when I look at that, I'm like, okay, probably this person probably came from the web or something because on the web, as you know, the font size are just much bigger. Um, Colors, they don't know how to use colors. They see a designer using colors and they're like, okay, maybe I can use colors everywhere now. And they're like putting this purple background and then purple text on top of a purple background, and it's not even readable. So accessibility, a third thing, very, very hard to master, but should be done, especially nowadays. The focus that Apple has on accessibility, so contrast ratio. If you're a developer, I wouldn't use anything else than a white background, to be honest, because white background is the ultimate color for any app, and it's very consistent. It's very easy to use, and then it can translate to dark mode very easily. If you're a designer, you have a lot more comfort with colors. You can definitely end up using off-white. You can end up using dark blue for dark mode. But if you're a developer and you're not comfortable with colors, go with the more safe route. And it's when I say safe, I don't necessarily mean you're not putting your skin in the game and you're not doing anything exciting. You can bring excitement in other things, such as animation, such as the way that you can interact with the app, the new gestures that you can use. If you look at some of the stuff that we're really used to now in terms of like the pull to refresh, those are things that were invented by developers at the time. And it's the kind of thing that I believe developers really excel at if they knew the power that they hold over design. The problem that I see with a lot of developers is that they don't believe that they have any power in design. But that's absolutely the opposite, in my opinion. Because if you work with any teams, and if you understand just enough design to be dangerous, such as some of the rules for typography, the colors that is already in the Apple iOS guidelines, the adaptivity of the layout, the legibility of the text, dynamic types, accessibility, all of these things, if they knew just like 60% of it, they can be extremely dangerous. And come the time that they have a meeting with designers, they can have a very strong opinion on how the app design should be moving forward. And not only will they improve the user experience, they improve the deadline in terms of how long it's going to take to make the app. They can collaborate better with designers, but also they can really shift the vision of the company in big ways. Instead of saying, hey, I want to make this card to be this way that the designer wanted, you can say, what if we do it this way? And what if we use another technique, giving even more flexibility to the design, to the animation, but only as developer, because the designer doesn't know. The designer doesn't even know about dynamic type, And so what if you have this knowledge and you can pass it to the designer and convince them to use this technique, and it's going to save the deadline by 2 weeks, right? So that's the kind of power that developers hold.